مسكت Hullin Daf حياة عمود Aleph 10 lines down. دم هنيتهاز بأشياء لها سكين. Blood that splatters and blood that's left on the knife after you're slaughtering it, you have to cover it. تنو برنام. في خيساو, you shall cover the blood that you spilled. لنتش الدم هنيتهاز شعال سكين حيث teach that the blood that splatters and the knife must be covered. أما البداية أمتها when that applies. إن شام دم اللي هو there's no other blood to be covered. أبي إيش شام دم شلوه we have other blood besides that. But you don't have to cover those too. تنقدر بتمرتب في خيساو you should cover the blood. And I called them all highlights to cover all blood. And they can't remember where they said, I mean, it has to show like highlights of the blood that splatters. And on the walls inside of the throat has to be covered. Amar Rabbi Shimon Rabban Shimon Gamliel. Ben was not obliged. Look, he said them enough. If you did not cover the blood that came out with the lifeblood. But he said them enough. But you did cover the lifeblood, the blood that came out with the death of the animal. But you don't have to cover it. Michael, what's the machloket? First opinion, the first machloket is somewhat a case of whether or not some of it has to be covered. Second machloket has to be that all blood covered, and Rabban Gamliel holds no, not lifeblood. Rabbanan Savri Hamim hold demo, it's blood, call them all blood. Rabida Savar demo vafim sadamon. Rabida holds some blood, even it's blood, even some blood. And that's why he holds. You don't have to cover all lifeblood. Rashbag Savar demo Amichad, Rashbag says no, specifically the lifeblood. Okay, but what do you cover with and whatnot? Mechasin bezevel hadak hadak, you cover with either fine dung or fine sand, beseed, beharsit, lime or crushed pottery, bevena with brick, bimgufa, the earthenware covers, shit kitashan that was already crushed. You can't cover with thick dung or thick sand, coarse. Not with a brick of a cast cover that was not crushed. Don't cover it just with a vessel. Rashbag said the following rule. The anything that plants can grow can be used to cover the blood. But not plants that cannot grow cannot. Now the Gemara says, what's considered fine sand? Anything that the potterer does not need to crush it before using it to produce pots, that's considered already fine. This is the definition from the second part. You can't use coarse dung or sand. That's what's considered coarse. Anything that the potterer needs to crush it. Okay, my bad. What's the difference? They're both teaching you the same thing. Seemingly, the one says no. There must be where it's sand that needs but not fully needs to be crushed. The mifrich abruche can be crumbled instead. First version, any sand that does not need to be crushed is good. Over here, it needs to be crushed. Second sand, it's any sand that needs to be crushed is considered coarse. Okay. Number nine. You should cover the body. You might think maybe you could cover it with stones or put a vessel in it to the vessel is with dirt. Mainly no dirt. I mean, I'm about زبل هذاك بحوضك. I don't include anything like fine dung and fine sand. مش عارف مش حاطط same stone grindings or pottery grindings or pishtantaka or the chaff that comes from the flax that when it's fine. When suraj daka or the carpenter's sawdust. If you see the hasot or lime and pottery clay, levinam gufash the or a brick or earthenware cast cover that was crushed. You cover the achol maybe that means I can include anything, even coarse dung or coarse sand, or even metal grindings, metal utensil grindings. Or maybe a brick or earthenware cast that was not crushed. Maybe I can use flour, coarse flour, and bran. Remember the pasuk says be'afar in dirt. How do I learn in dirt to exclude these coarse things and to include fine things and exclude coarse things? Because since the Torah included and included some substances besides dirt and excluded others, I'll include things that are similar to dirt that things can grow from. But I exclude things that things cannot grow from. Okay. Okay, 1 second. But if I have a generalization by the word saying cover anything, then specified dirt. It's a prat, it's called a specific generalization and a specification. And generalization is limited to what's in the specification. Only or nothing else. How can you assume other stuff? The word says that is not a classic of general and specification. A classic general specification is where you don't need to specify. Over here, you need to specify. You should cover it. Okay, with what, my car? Therefore, that the whole class is really prat in the totally prat. Any generalization that needs that specification is not limited to that specification. Okay, ده عشان الرحمن بره الحساب. إن محاسن إلى the verses are in بسميخه. Well, مسميح. We said before you can't cover the blood unless something that seeds can be planted with. Amarava, I burcha. Where is this? We made this up. Amaraba, Hamar, Sakura. He says in my burha that why is it made up? I'm reading I said this. وما ما تنتع عمرت لنا لين نستنى فاهم بريتها. هنا ده قد بعد لأنه after عرض خسرت من walking dead and then to cover it with شو حق دينار وذهب مخسر you can grind up a golden dinar to cover it. أما ده بس فينا بأنه after خسرت someone's traveling in a boat and then no earth to cover with. So if Tlaitol Mahase, he should burn his garment and cover the blood of his ashes, the ashes. So we see, desert sand's not good enough. Where it says, Bishlam also if Tlaitol Mahase, it makes sense the ashes of the garment. Ashahan Efer de Mikra Afar, because I know ashes is considered earth in the Pasuk. Ali dinar, zahab, minan, I know that a golden dinar also is considered dirt. And to be for Kiswadam, where it says, Mara Bezerah, the Afrot, zahab lo, the earth of gold. Turn around. In Mahasin ela be'afar, you can't cover blood except for dirt. Dibri bishmar veshmaz. Hamid knows me says, Matsino efer shekru afar, I know ash is called dirt. Shnemar velak yehuda tamim he afar, serefat apara. Ashes and dirt are equated. Which my Benjamin says, Afar Serefat Ikri. The ashes of the Paradama we're recording is called the earth of burning. Afar Stimbalo Ikri, but it's not considered dirt. Time Bright says, if you see for the end, they added Hashawar Bakahov and they added ground charcoal, type of cosmetic powder, and millstone scraps. Yeshamim Afazar Maybe also included type of yellow pigment powder. Marava. Pasuk says, "B'schar shamar Avraham Avinu va'anochi afar va'efer." Since Avraham Avinu was humble and he said, "I am like dirt and ashes," Zachu banav le'shtei mitzvot. Therefore, his children got two mitzvot. Efer para, the ashes of the pradama, the afar sotah, and the mitzvah of doing the sotah with the dirt. بلاش نعمل عفار should have much else than the blood of Kiswadam, the earth of Kiswadam. That's just the accessory to the mitzvah. Hana aleka, but there's no benefit from that. These mitzvot have benefit. The benefit for would be Paradama to get tahor and the Satar to make peace. Amar Rava says, B'schar Shamar Avram Avinu, for the reward that Avram Avinu said, Im mehut ve'atzaroch na'al. If I take a thread or a shoelace, Zachu banav l'shem mitzvot, therefore his descendants got two mitzvot, le'achot tchelet, the thread of tchelet, or suash tiflin and tiflin straps. He says, this is dumb, I'm not taking anything from you. Bishimar, so actually that makes sense. This trap of Tefillin, Ktiv, Veroku me'aras, ki Hashem Hashem Echad Echad. Pasuk says that all nations of the world will see that Hashem's on you. It says that Rabbi Elazar Agdom, El Tefillin, this first Tefillin in your head. Elis Chutz Shus Tchelet Ma'ika, what's the benefit of Tchelet? Tanabrat says, why is Tchelet so special versus all the colors? Even if Tchelet Ma'alayam, because Tchelet looks like the sea. The Yam Demeler on sea is like the sky. Verakir Demele Evan Sapir, and the sky is similar to the sapphire stone. Evan Sapir Demele Kisakavon has a similar color to the throne of Hashem. Shneimar Vayerud Elokei Israel Betachat Raglav. Vektib Evan Sapir Demot Kisei prove that the sapphire stone represents Hashem's glory. And when we look at the mitzvot, that reminds of Hashem to do mitzvot. Marbeba Kashe Gezel Hanechal, stone property that is used or consumed, it's very dangerous. Because you can't return it. It's consumed, it's consumed. Shneimar Pasuk says, "Beladai rak asher achlo ne'arim." When Avraham Avinu was telling Sodom, I don't want to take anything, he said, except for what my people already ate. Because he said, I can't return that anymore. Okay, אמר רבי יוחנן משום בלעזר ברשימה. כל מקום שאתה מוצא דבריו של רבי אלעזר בנו של רבי יוסף הגלילי בהגדה, whenever you see the words of Elazar, the son of Rabbi Yosef Haglili, in regarding the Haggadah, עשה אוזניך כעפר כסת. You should listen very clearly, like a funnel. He said, Lo miru bechem mikol ha'amim hashak Hashem bechem. Not because you're great in all the nations that Hashem want you. Meaning, even though there's some little Jews, Hashem still wanted it, even and because we're humble. Hamal Makash Baruch Hu Yisrael, Hashem said to Bnei Israel, Hoshkani bechem, I love you. And I desire you. Shafilu b'shah shani merashpiyah lechem g'lai atem v'atin atzvechem lefanai. Whenever, even at the time where I give you greatness, you still humble yourself. Natati l'gdullah Abraham, I give greatness to Abraham. Amar lefanai, he told me, V'anochi afar ve'efer, I'm but dirt and ashes. The Moshe v'Aaron, Amru b'nachnuma, when I gave greatness to Moshe and Aaron, they said, what are we? The David Amar, when I gave the kingdom, V'anochi tulat v'lo ish, I'm a worm, not a man. But when Goyim get a power, they abuse it. I gave greatness. I gave greatness to Nimrod. Amar, and he said, Hava nibnei lanu ir, let's build a city to attack Hashem. Libaro Amar, when I gave Paro power, Amar, he said, Mi Hashem, who's God? L'Tanariv Amar, when I gave Tanariv power, Amar, he said, Mi bechol Elokei Aratot, um, who can save all these lands? Who can save Yerushalayim? Like no one, like same way no one can save the other lands that I conquered. Hashem can't save Yerushalayim from my hand. The Vuna Chazamar, when Muhammad got power, he said, I will ascend over I will go over the clouds to attack Hashem and be like Hashem. Hiram Melech Tzorah, when Hiram, king of Tzor, said, Moshe Elokim Mishafti Belev Amim, I will sit in the seat of God. So basically, as we see from here, that when Goyim get power, they get haughty. And when Bnei Israel get power, or greatness, they humble themselves. And it's so important that we do that. Look what Hashem, this is the defining factor of what Hashem desires us amongst anything else. Very, very interesting. אמר רבא ואיתן רבי יחנן, גדול שנאמר במשה ואהרון יותר ממה שנאמר באברהם. The humility of Moshe and Aaron is greater than Abraham. כאילו אברהם כתיב by Abraham, it said, ואנוכי עפר ואפר. I'm just dirt and ashes. כאילו משה ואהרון כתיב, ואנחנו מה? Moshe and Aaron said, okay, what are we? Because he's not even dirt and ashes. אמר רבא ואיתן רבי יחנן, אין עולם מתקיים אלא בשביל משה ואהרון. The world only exists because of the humility of Moshe and Aaron. כתיב האחה, because ואנחנו מה, what are we? כתיב האתם, and it says, תולה ארץ על בלימה. Hashem keeps the world existing for those who consider themselves nothing. The world only exists in someone who muzzles himself when he's upset by somebody else. Very good thing. When you hear someone getting attacked and screamed at or whatever it is, and they don't respond, get a bit of beracha. See from here. Will exists in the merit of someone who makes himself as if he doesn't exist. Below the world's arms. Rabbi Yitzhak, ha'umnam elim tzadik tedaberun meshrim tishbatu b'nei adam. What does it mean by what it says? Is there silence? So they should speak and equally judge people? Ha'umnam ele can sound like the muteness. What's the person's job in this world? Yes, he should make himself like a mute person. Maybe he should also be quiet for Torah. No. Speak righteousness. That means then if he should be prideful of his Torah. With equity you should judge, which means level. And therefore don't step on other people. Amen.